Welcome back to International Scale Modeler. I'm Lee. Today we're going to do a review on this awesome looking 172 kit from Hasegawa. It's the F-15DJ Eagle Aggressor 2011. Now I think you guys can guess just from that picture itself why I bought this kit. Absolutely fantastic camo scheme. I mean, that really is knocked spots off of any of the wilder schemes. I think that is going to be an absolute challenge, 100% challenge that. Now you can see from it all the grey bits and the different camo things. It's going to be an absolute nightmare to decal and paint and things like that, which is why I bought it as a complete challenge. This is going to throw it right out there with everything. But let's have a look at the box. So great box art. I mean, just looking at that picture makes me want to buy the kit, really. It says it's a limited edition, but I know they're still around. There's loads of them. They're quite expensive though, but I'll flash up the price in a minute. As you can see, all the way around, you know, just a little bit about the kit, not too much in Japanese and everything. I got this from E-Models. I think it was the best price I could find around. So let's have a look inside the box. The box, the Hasegawa box, it's not brilliant, but it's not bad. You know, it's nothing to write home about whatsoever. Let's just pop that up there. Okay, so I think what we'll do first of all is we will start. It all comes in one big bag, which, as you know, I'm a one bag hater. I don't like these whatsoever. I like kits to be in separate bags, but I'm trying to think when this was produced, this kit. 2011. So it's not that old, so it's only, what, 4 years old. It's not an old kit, so maybe because it's 172 they haven't gone that extra mile on it. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But let's have a look all the way through. So we're going to start off, let's separate these screws. We'll just start off with the one at the bottom, the big ones, I think. Okay, so this is the main sprue, and it has the fuselage halves on, as you can see. So we've got the nose and the fuselage, top and bottom, and we've got some air brakes and flippy flaps and some legs and things like that. Now, first thing I noticed looking at this is I'm drawn straight away to this leg strut here, and it's got flash. Let me just, now, flash isn't too bad as long as it's not in horrible awkward places. As you can see, it's right on the edge there. Now, to be honest with you, most legs come with flash on, unless they're the brand new manufactured kits. And it is literally just a job of stroking a scalpel gently up the seam a couple of times. So it's not too bad, and we can get over that. That's not a problem. The moulding itself seems very clean and crisp. It's the resin styrene that's a little bit harder than the normal. The lines look very clean and crisp. What I like about them, they're not deep. They're not like furrows you get in some 172 models. So it looks to be like the actual lines itself. The engraving is in scale, which is very nice indeed. You've got these vents here. There's a nice little touch on the surface. They're quite good. They're well moulded as well, clean and crisp and things like that. I have noticed something there though. I don't know if that's deliberate or if that's a poor moulding. I would imagine that's deliberate. Yeah, it's got to be. But it's got a little bit of flash in there, so again, a little bit of clean up. There is flash here and there. On the main fuselage part there isn't, but on these little greebles and the odds and sods there is a bit of flash here, there and everywhere. The nose cone itself, again, that's going to need a bit of cleaning up, the very tip of the cone. But apart from that, again, nice engraving, nice lines. It looks like there's a little bit of mould release agent on the kit itself, so I would definitely recommend you give this a wash before you start building. Let's move on to the next sprue, and here we have the wings, and again, nice engraving. Again, there is quite a bit of agent on there, some stretch marks on the styrene as well, but they won't show up with a polish and once you've painted it and everything. But again, the engraving is very nice, as you can see. It's very clean and crisp and precise, which is what you would expect from a Hasegawa kit, that's for sure. But again, little bits of flash here and there. It's going to need a bit of tidy up, this kit. Again there, like you see on the end of the wing. So it is going to need a little bit of clean up, which is a bit surprising really for a 5-year-old kit. I wouldn't have thought there would have been that much flash, but there is. But I think this might be a rebox of an older kit, to be honest with you, or a different model. I would definitely say that may be the case here. And what they've done is they've obviously done this scheme, you know, and just made it, updated it, sort of thing. So then we've got an instrument panel here. Now, instrument panels in 172 are very so-so because it's so tiny. But as you can see, there is raised detail on there, and it's not bad raised detail either. So you will be able to pick some stuff out and make that look nice with a bit of a dry brush and things like that. You know, it is on the F-15. There is a big open canopy, so you're going to be able to see in there. So you've got to take some time with the cockpit, I think, on this. I would definitely imagine there's some aftermarket for this if you wanted to get it. It just depends whether it warrants it. I may indeed get some aftermarket for this because the tub, and there we go, we've got the main tub here as well. Oh, look at this, I'll zoom right in for you. But as you can see, it does have some nice detail on there, and the detail is clean and crisp. There's a lot of 172 models where the detail in the tubs and things are quite soft, what I call soft moulding, and it just means that the round areas are they just don't pop up. They sort of blend into the surroundings. So that looks quite nice to me. I think that's doesn't look too bad whatsoever. We've then got looks like the underside, part of the underside there, and nothing else to do with the cockpit. Oh, we've got another control panel here. As you can see, very small detail again, but it is clean and crisp. You are going to be able to pick that out. So very nice. So that'll be nice. We then go on to some tail fins, and we have some fuel tanks. Some pylons. Again, these are clean and crisp. Again, there's flash in quite a few areas on this kit, so you are going to have to take time, do some take some time with the scalpel blade and some sanders and everything. You've then got the ejection seat. Again, very flashy on the ejection seat, as you can see. Lots of flash here. Right there. So that, again, that's going to need some tidy up. Not bad, but again, I think this is definitely going to be a kit that's going to benefit from aftermarket. The only problem I have with that is aftermarket in 172 on aircraft is it's tedious, so small. So a lot of times I don't bother. But I mean, this is a kit I think that I'm going to spend a lot of time on because I'm going to spend a ton of time painting. That's for sure. So it may be worth the extra effort in the cockpit to get a little zoom set or some Eduard aftermarket or something for it, which I'm sure there's plenty of. Again, we come to it's just a mirrored sprue. Again, it's got flash in the same places, so it's just an exact same sprue. And that's it for the plastic. So obviously 172 kit, but for a 172 kit, there's not a bad amount of plastic there. There's enough to keep you busy, that's for sure, especially with the flash cleanup and everything. We then got the decals. A quick look at these and the clear parts. So let's have a look at the clear parts first. Obviously, as you know, very important for me. As you can see, as I said, it's a very nice big open canopy, and you're going to be able to see everything through there. Now the plastic itself, it's a little bit dull on top. So as you can see that there. You can see how that's a little bit dull up there, which might be where it's been rubbing in the kit or something like that in the box. So you're going to need a little bit of cleanup. Now obviously all you need is this sander here, an ultimate buffer. You've got 3000 grit on one side and a 30,000 grit on the other, 12,000 grit on the other, sorry. And it literally is, you go over with the green on rough areas like that, and then you come over with the buffer until it starts squeaking, and Bob's your uncle, and that'll be crystal clear. Okay, but after I've done that with the sander, because you've opened up that surface a bit, I always dip them in clear afterwards, and I find that seals it and keeps it nice and fresh for years to come. But as you can see, I mean, it's nicely moulded. Thankfully there's no flash on that at all. And to be honest with you, the lines are very neat and straight, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that is going to fit. Oh, there is a little bit of flash there, just there, look. But hopefully that's going to fit nicely, because I don't want that to be too much of a pain, that's for sure. So let's pop that back in the bag. So decals, quite a big sheet for a 172, as you can see. Looking at it, the decals are they're nearly matte, but they're just on the silky side of matte. They look to be in register. I don't see anything out of register there at all. Obviously at 172 the majority of the writing's not going to be visible or readable, should I say. But apart from that, everything else. Now the carrier film does extend over the decal quite a way. And because it being 172 and so many, how many stencils there are. Because there's so many as well, you're probably not going to be able to cut them off unless you're very, very patient, which I am not. There are things like this one here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just try and get the light so it reflects there. Okay, where they've got these 3 decals, but it's all connected by this great big bit of carrier film, which I'm definitely going to cut that off because that's just craziness. That's just not going to look nice. No matter how good you make your model, you'll never get all of that disappear, and it will just be there. I will always see it anyway. Let me put it that way. Right, you've got options for a decal for the controls as well, which is nice. I don't know what the cockpit controls colours they are, whether they're black and white. It seems a little bit normal to me. But to be honest with you, to get that effect with paint, it would actually look a lot nicer with paint. And if it is just black and white, it's a very simple process. It literally is just spraying it black, and then you come in with something like either an ultimate wash. You've either got your concrete, which will give you a good demarcation on that inside of the cockpit, or you've got, if you want to really make it stark, you can use the winter wash. But to be honest with you, I think the concrete would be fine on that. I think that would, it doesn't look like it in a bottle, but they always dry lighter, and that will come up, that will make that pop like that, without it being glaring white sort of thing. So I think I would definitely do that. I mean, as you can see from the cockpit itself, it's black and white again with a couple of little white dials. I don't know if that's correct. Again, check your references before you do anything like that. But apart from that, the decals, you know, they look okay, good enough. I'm just not looking forward to all of this lot. Look at them. That is going to be monumental. That is I would say that's a good few hours decaling there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bloody hell. Yeah, that's going to be an hour per block at least. There's that many of them there. So yeah, if you like decaling, this is definitely one of the kits to get at 172. They are tiny. Right, okay, so last we've got the instruction manual. Okay, now this isn't quite A4, it's not A5, so it's, you know, it's in between the two, A6 let's say, A4.5. But as you can see, it's in Japanese and English. It gives you a bit of a write-up about the F-15DJ Eagle in Japanese and in English, and some overall some stats and things like that about it. Inside, first page you're confronted with is a assembly page, paint callouts and things like that. Now the paint callouts are in Mr. Colour, that's good, or Hobby Colour, so fantastic, which is my paint of choice. So that's brilliant for me. So what I do like about the Japanese kits, they do tend to use Mr. Hobby as their paint references. So you've got your paint reference there, then obviously your decaling, and it tells you whether to glue or apply decal or 2 sets needed or whatever. So you've got your legend up the top here. But apart from that, it looks very simple as it goes together. Literally you build up the tub. Again, that tub is very small. It's going to take an hour to do if you're doing it normally. But if you're going to add aftermarket, that will take hours and hours. So it just depends on how far you want to go, really. But then you've got sprue maps, numbered sprue maps as well, which is quite nice. So you can take all the parts off, clean them up, and then just have them in a plastic bin, which is what I do sometimes when I've got numbered sprue maps. And again, we just go through, and then you've got in the middle, you've got this big black and white sheet which shows you the decal scheme. And as you can see from that, it's, oh my god. You've got these big grey things here for the decals and lines on here. So these are for these large areas, I would imagine. But again, I think this is going to have to be get the main grey areas down, then do the camo, and then do your lots of little squares with lots of. I think that's going to be lots of Tamiya taping, just tons and tons and tons of it. Because it is just scary looking at it. You just think, oh my god, this is a retirement piece, I think. But as you can see, the underside, thankfully, is not so bad at all. You've got the main fuselage is one colour, but the camo does wrap around onto the underside of the wings and the fuselage at the front as well. So the nose area. So yeah, so that's the rear. I've just realised this is a gatefold instruction manual. Hold on. Ta-da! So actually that's the first page. Second page, you're then putting the wings on, and it says put the undercarriage on. Don't do that yet, obviously, do that last. And then it's then you got the it's just fuel tanks. Oh, there are some rockets. I didn't see any of those. Rockets or missiles there. As with Hasegawa, they don't include them in the kit. If you want to put armament on there, you're going to have to buy their aftermarket armament set by the looks of it, because it's not included, which is one of their tricks to get you to spend more money with them. Lovely. So as you can see, and then it's saying put the canopy on. I mean, to be honest with you, going through instructions, you know, tooth and nail is not really necessary. They're instructions. They're clean and precise and easy to understand. You've got the stencil details, the common markings there, and obviously you've got the three types there, 72, 80, 90, 92, 80, 95, and 52, 80, 88. Now the only difference I can see between any of these is, apart from the camera patterns, is the actually they're all the same. They're all the tail markings and everything are the same. So the only difference is the camera patterns themselves. Now you got the splinter pattern with all of that grey, which is on the box obviously, which is what makes you buy this kit in the first place. And you've then got two other patterns here. This looks like a Russian pattern. I would imagine those are going to be blues and greys, as to do with the Russian one. And then you've got this, which looks like a desert scheme, an American desert scheme maybe. Yeah, so you've got three different options there. Obviously I bought it because of this, and that's the scheme I'm going to go for, because that, to me, that has got to be one of the hardest things I've ever seen on an aircraft to paint. It's not because, I mean, you can get the initial camo down. The splinter camo is not going to be easy anyway. I don't know of any masks for it. If there is a mask, I'm going to try and find one, that's for sure, because it will make life easier. But it's things like all these grey lines, like on the tail. Look, you can see each panel line is separated by this grey line. So you can't use decals for that, because it's just going to look awful, and you know, then your wash isn't going to sit in it properly and things like that. So this is all got to be painted. So you've got to do the camo and then overpaint. The good thing is it's not going to be weathered, which is a real blessing, because this is a show aircraft or an Aggressor aircraft, so it's not going to be heavily used, and they're not going to be heavily weathered or anything like that. Even this picture of this real aircraft, there's no weathering on that at all. It's not weathered. That looks like a model. It's not. That's an actual picture. So it's going to be one of those that you can do it and then just put some light weathering on the top. To be honest with you, I think something like our concrete wash on that would look quite nice. You know, just in there, and then it'll blend everything in. Yeah, that's going to be a challenge and a half. So if I want some armament on there, I'm going to have to get some aftermarket stuff from Hasegawa, obviously one of their kits. But I may just go with the fuel tanks on that. I think that's just going to look good enough with the 3 fuel tanks on there, you know. So you can have all 3 drop tanks at the same time. Oh, I imagine it could. Yeah, you can have all 3 drop tanks at the same time. So that, I think that would bolster the kit up enough to make it look really, really nice. But for me, I mean, for what I paid for that, I think I paid 35 to 40 quid for that, if I can remember. You've already seen the price, it's already flashed up. So I've got to say, I've bought it for that paint scheme. But the kit itself needs a little bit to be desired. For 40 quid for a 172 kit, with that much flash and no armament, it's a little bit of a rip-off, I have to say. And finding that, a lot of people saying they're finding that with Hasegawa kits, that you're paying top dollar for not the top-notch models anymore. They were, in their day, around the 2000 mark, I think they were the best you could get, and 2005, whatever. But these days, I mean, that's 2011, so it's 4 years old. So this kit was bought out when this was on show, this aircraft was on show. But that's definitely not a 2011 kit, I wouldn't say. I think that's a much older kit, and I'm sure some of you guys know what year it's from. As you know, I'm not aficionado on when kits were made and things like that. So, it's definitely a challenge. I think not only putting the kit together, it looks like it'll go together okay, but you've got a lot of cleanup. So the kit's going to take time. The cockpit, because it's this great big clear canopy, you're going to need to spend time on that. So I think the kit cockpit is not going to be good. You're going to need to upgrade that. So you're getting 172 aftermarket. It's going to take a while. Putting the kit together is going to take a while, and then painting is going to take an absolute lifetime. And the decaling is again, after the painting, after everything else, you've got a good, I would say, at least 6 hours of decaling there, definitely. So you know, it's it's going to be a monster kit for a 172, but it's one of those that I will probably wait until I know I'm settled somewhere and I've got the time to do it, and I'll come back to and fro from that. That'll be one of those ones that I'm sure that I'll start building. I'll build it quick enough, but it's once you start getting into the painting and the decaling, it'll be one of those you pick up, put down, pick up, put down, and when you feel like you've got your mojo and things like that. But even so, I mean, score wise, I'm gonna have to say the camo scheme and the pattern and everything, wow, you know, 9 out of 10. But to be honest with you, the kit itself, it's not great for a brand new kit. For the amount that you pay for this kit, it's bloody expensive for a 172. So I'm gonna have to say, I'd say 6.5 really, which is one of my lowest reviews ever. But it's a nice kit. I'm really excited about starting this. But it's just you can't compare the kit to the price at all. You're paying to get that camo scheme on that, and I know you can go online and download that pattern, so you have it picture wise, and just it's no different to doing what you're doing here, you know, paint it off a picture. So I would say get a different F-15, a cheaper version, and do that camo scheme on that. I mean, the odd nods and sods that are slightly different, you may or may not notice. It's entirely up to you, but for that price, for that quality kit, I haven't even looked in a box. I've had it 6 months, and that's the first time I've looked in a box. So, but there, so about 6.5. It's one of my lowest reviews. 6.5, maybe a 7 at a push if you really love the Japanese F-15. So, but anyway, that is the F-15DJ Eagle Aggressor 2011 limited edition from Hasegawa in 172 flavour. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.